Hey everyone! Welcome back! I am back today with more Chernobyl, and I am never going to get used to saying that in such a happy way. You guys, if you're joining me early today, you know what it means. It means you are one of my awesome patrons. Thank you so much, and as always, I'm sending you up those big old hugs right through that screen. And if not, still thank you for joining me today. I'm glad you're here. I do hope you'll consider supporting me that way. The link to my Patreon is going to be in the description down below. So last time on Chernobyl, it was, every episode so far has been quite heavy and emotional in its own way. And in the last episode, we got to see I think, even more of the profound emotional toll that that all of this must take on, like, family members of people who were affected by the explosion. We saw some really just heartbreaking scenes of the wife of the firefighter. I don't recall her name, but the wife of the firefighter trying to get to her husband and eventually getting to him, and then he seemed okay, but then we find out that's just kind of the process of the radiation poisoning, is that, almost kind of looks like you're going to recover for a bit, and then it just goes. And from what some of the folks in the comments are telling me about, like, the stuff they actually could not include but did happen, like, physically to the victims, I'm glad that they didn't put all that in there. It sounds absolutely horrible. But they still did a really good job of conveying just how awful it must have been for, this family, this couple, and the wife taking care of him and everything, and eventually losing him, and just now we know so much more, probably to a large degree because of this incident. But, like, at the time, you can't blame, like, the nurse in the hospital or the wife of the firefighter too much for, not taking precautions and just kind of, staying with the husband and everything, because, I mean, first of all, who wouldn't, if that's, like, your loved one, of course you're going to want to do that. But also, I don't think anyone realized. I think maybe the hospital staff kind of realized it. And but I don't think the wife really realized at all, like, the extent, it probably just, her husband was a firefighter, so it's probably just like, oh, he went to fight a fire, he got burned really badly, and, like, typically, like, a burn like that isn't contagious of anything, but oh my god, when we found out the news about her, and he's, like, touching the bump and everything, oh my god, that was excruciating. It's amazing how well they have built up the situation here, because all they even had to show was him just touching her stomach, and, like, I flipped, and that goes to show just how well they have built up the situation on the show. So I don't know what's going to happen to her baby. I don't know what happens to her. Horribly sad situation. And of course we know, other than that, some of the other events of the episode were finding out more about kind of the structure of what's going on at the time. And we found out that I don't remember isn't that awful? I don't remember our main guy's name, but the professor, the scientist, and the person he's with were being followed, and there's just a large degree of, like, silence involved in what exactly they're supposed to be doing and what they're supposed to be revealing. So, and I've gotten some really interesting comments about that, and I've been enjoying, like, learning more. So, and last but not least, we left off on this idea. Her name will come to me, like, halfway through the episode, don't worry. Because I actually had been talking about her in the comments. But our female scientist had found out that, the core exploded after it was shut down. So I don't know what that means. I mean, off the top of my head, I want to say the obvious of just it's not indestructible like everyone thought, but I mean, that's obvious. But the fact that it would explode after it was shut down, I have no idea what will cause that. I don't know if it's foul play. I don't know if there's like something more to it, but she's on the hunt for some info now. So this is the next to last episode. I have been warned that this is going to be an especially traumatic episode, so I'm going to be keeping, you know, she's become famous now through these reactions. My sad unicorn who holds all of my sad tissues. I will be keeping her very close by because I have a feeling this is going to be a heartbreaker. So, not that like the other episodes have been really uplifting, to be honest, but I don't know. This one's called The Happiness of All Mankind, and I feel like that's really, really ironic. I feel like it's going to be an ironic title, but yeah, I'm not like excited, but I am very drawn in and curious about what's going to happen next. You know, the story's very well done, even though it has a very heavy tone. You know, I am very curious to see what's going to happen next. So what do you say we jump on into the next episode of Chernobyl? Let's go. All right, guys. Wow. Let's talk about that episode. I'm still reeling from it, so I'm probably gonna have a little bit more of a cohesive discussion to give you next time after I've had a little while to really think it over and get away from some of the initial devastation of the episode. So I want to highlight a couple of the major bullet points of the show before I go into what affected me, because I think you already know what affected me. So basically, it was negligence, but also a huge design flaw that caused the explosion. And it was just kind of like, I mean, I hate to even put it this way, but to use the phrase a perfect storm, because it sounds like there was a lot of negligence on the part of the people maintaining and upkeeping the reactor. But that would not have been, the explosion would not have occurred had they known about what had happened to the Leningrad reactor of the same type. And they did a good job of explaining something very, very complicated in very simple terms for me to understand, which was good. So I guess basically when they took all those rods out and then put them back in, what hit first was it was graphite, and that had something to do with the explosion. So basically what happened was the people maintaining the core didn't know, but by pressing that button, because of the conditions that had been kept and because of the steps they had taken beforehand, it actually ended up exploding the core. They didn't know that was going to happen. They thought they had done what they were supposed to do because they never knew about this experiment that got like redacted and was a big secret kept. So it's kind of like half and half, because maybe things wouldn't have gotten to that point had the reactor been kept up better. But if they had known about that, then I'm pretty sure they probably would not have pressed the button. And the professor guy knew about it. Valery, I think his name is. He knew about it. But even he didn't think it would be possible again. Wow. So there's a lot wrong with that picture. There's a whole lot wrong. And I think the more we see of the show, the more we're seeing how the societal structure plays a big role in how a lot of these events play out. So that's very interesting. And the whole thing is just very tragic. It's very, I can see why, I think his name's Boris, got very, very, very frustrated. And he was the one who was very like, you know, he seemed very, very loyal at first. But they are putting some of the leaders on trial now. See, I knew, I'm like, it can't possibly be. I get that they have communicated that there is a kind of a general tone that the country wants to keep. And I get that. But like, we've seen through this show that like much with anything, there's like there's some individuals who truly want to like do things right and do good. And then there's some who obviously do not, or we're not practicing it anyway, for whatever reason. But they are going to put some of them on trial. So I wonder if that tape that we saw him recording at the beginning is his testimony. I'm not sure, but that would make sense now that like they want them to testify. I guess they don't want the woman to testify. What an awful spot to be in, being that man with the two people like talking to him like, no, you can't. They're going to come after everyone you love. No, you have to tell the truth. Think of what's going to, honestly, the deal to just fix the other reactors, I can see how that would seem like a good middle road to him, because who wants to be like shot, you know? I mean, who wants to, I'll tell you what, guys, I will tell you what, I'm never going to complain about anything ever again. The show has made me so grateful, so incredibly grateful for the life I have and everything I have. I'm never going to complain again. Next time I feel like complaining, I'm going to think my job could be shooting animals. Or having to go on the roof. I can't believe they sent people in. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I have any better ideas. Like, I'm not trying to throw shade in that way. But there was a part of me that's just sitting here like, I can't believe there's not a better way. Wow. And I mean, maybe there would be, but I mean, I get that there is like a time crunch, and I get that they're like, they've really been driving home the point on the show that there is a lot that they are and are not willing to do and ask for and go to help for and everything. And all right, let's talk about, we don't even have to really talk about it. I'm just going to mention that I feel so incredibly bad for Pavlov, the young boy. Those scenes hurt me. You guys who have been watching me for a while know how I feel about anything with kids or animals. We got babies and animals all in one episode here, and it was devastating. I knew when the firefighter was like touching his wife's bump. I'm like, God, that cannot be good. But I had I didn't even, like, how is it even possible that the baby absorbed all the radiation instead of her? And now she has to live with that, knowing that. I'm so glad I refilled the sad unicorn. So let's change the subject, because I don't think I'm ready to talk about that yet. So basically, like, all the scenes with the dogs are going in the vault, deep in the vault. I don't ever want to think about them again. I was very intrigued by the soldier character that they brought in. I don't know what to make of him, because he had like kind of a good honorable side to him, but his language was so colorful, and it's very clear like he became a very different person because of everything he had to see. But the way that he described it was so chilling that like you think that you're not you anymore, but that was really you all along. And honestly, I think that's worse. I think it would be worse to feel like you as a person had the ability to kill and just move on with your life afterwards the whole time. As opposed to, like, this outside situation changed who you were and you did what you had to do. It's like, no, it's like that's who you were the whole time. That's a very chilling way to think about it. And the way he just was very cavalier about all of it, you know, like saying that he was happy and everything. He very clearly was deeply, deeply affected. But the way he handled it was really interesting. He had, like, this weird sense of honor, like, taking care of the boy and making sure that none of the animals suffered. Like, he was very, very adamant about that. Like, even though he was like, yeah, sure, it's great, it's just like hunting. It's like, it's very clear he did not want to hurt. Even though he had to kill the animals, he did not want to hurt them. So I'm really proud of our female scientist as well. Like, she really put together a whole lot of info, and it was not easy. And I feel like we only really saw, like, the highlight reel of everything she must have gone through to get that info. But, alright, well, next episode's the last episode, so I'm guessing we're going to get to see what happens with this whole trial, the testimony situation. I will be sure to watch the end credits next time, because I know they're going to show some stuff in the end credits. So I'm like, where are they now? Alright, guys. All the stuff you were telling me about emotionally preparing for the series made sense in this episode. So thank you for all the warnings. Thank you for telling me to restock Sad Unicorn. She's fully stocked now. For next time as well. Very, very intriguing, well done show. Please don't mistake my devastation for that just means they really, really did their job very well, and it's a very well done show. I don't know about, like, the rewatchability of it. I don't know if this is gonna be like a I don't know about the rewatchability factor for me, but I think that so far they've done a great job, and they have gotten across everything that they meant to. Even though a lot of that has not been very easy to take. But okay, guys, I'm gonna go pamper myself and have a snack and get emotionally prepped for next week. So you guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for watching along with me and getting me through these difficult episodes. I really appreciate it, and I'm very curious to see what happens next. So please be sure to join me next time, and we will watch it together. Bye for now, guys.